Todd.
And I'm his daughter Victoria.
And welcome back to our channel. Today I thought we'd make my guacamole dip. What do you think?
Well, that's an idea, but you know what I think would be even better?
What?
Is if you make your dip and I make my guacamole and we do a little guacamole cook-off. See the difference and maybe see which one we like better. Mom can be the judge. What do you think?
Okay, we can do that.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll show you how to make guacamole. Dad makes a dip and I make a different kind of guacamole. So
I just want to say from the beginning, I like both.
I know, I do too. And yours is also authentic because
I learned it from a Mexican.
I know, and I didn't, so. But we'll just show you the differences and you can choose which recipe you like, but it's fun to have different ones. Like we said, his is more of a dip. So
yeah, it's a dip.
It works well. So, should we show them how it's done?
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Okay, so here we have our ingredients. I have 4 avocados.
I'm going to be doing just 2.
Just 2?
Just 2 today.
Okay.
Small batch.
Well, I have already started cutting my avocados in half, and I started prepping my onion and my tomato a little bit. So I'm just going to cut the next avocado. Nice and ripe.
They're beautiful, aren't they?
They are really nice. And then I'll just take the pits.
I'm just going to start working this into my bowl here. Starting with the avocado again.
This isn't a race, right?
No. Why am I winning?
No, because I can't get this pit out.
Oh.
All right.
These are so buttery. I love these ones because they're not watery, they're a nice buttery avocado.
All right.
You still working on pits?
No, I got them all.
Oh, good job.
I'm working on the avocado.
Okay.
So with the avocado, you want to make sure they're ripe. So the skin will look sort of brown like this on the outside, and when you gently push into it, it moves some. But you don't want it mushy either, because then it gets pretty nasty.
Right. One thing I usually do, and I was going to save one to show them, but where the little stem is, when you take the stem out, you can usually see the color underneath. And usually if it's dark brown, it's too far gone. And if it's green, that means it's not ripe yet either. So you want like a light tan, and then they're usually ripe as well. And it goes along with the texture too.
That's really good.
All right, well I already got my avocados out.
Why do I always feel like the caboose? All right, I'm working.
Well, that's okay, because we're both gonna use the same masher. So I'll start mashing. So I'm just gonna take a potato masher and we're just going to smush these. If you don't have a potato masher, you could use a fork or a pastry fork if you want, but I find it easy just to use a potato masher. So we're just gonna mash this. I like mine mostly creamed, but with a little bit of chunk, just so you have a little texture, but you don't want any big chunks of avocado. But I think, let me just make sure, I think that's perfect. Okay, so I like it like that consistency. All right.
Okay, so while Victoria was using the potato masher to mash her avocados, I just started cutting up my tomatoes for my dip. And so basically in the past what I've done is 1 large tomato for the dip. But where these are from the garden, we have several smaller tomatoes. And basically it's going to make about a cup and a half of diced tomatoes is what we're going to use. But like we said, we're going to put the recipe at the bottom of the video afterwards.
Okay, so for me, right after I finish mashing the avocado, I like to put the lime right in. So
Why is that, Victoria?
because I like it to start softening it, plus it adds a nice flavor, and it also helps it not to turn color.
I thought I'd ask you first before you asked me.
That's always good. You just continue mashing.
I'm mashing my avocados.
Good job. All right, so we'll add this. I'm gonna start with just a half for now. We'll see how the flavor is afterwards. We'll probably end up using a whole lime in here. I like it pretty limey. So while that's going, I'm gonna start cutting up my red onion here. I already cut it in half, but now we're gonna do it in small pieces. How's the mashing going?
Good, I just finished.
That's good.
It's looking good.
Put that right in the bowl here. So you want like a nice small chop. So you don't want any big pieces of onion in there. Put that directly in the bowl and just check this here. Nice. I think that's the perfect amount. Good.
All right, so I just finished mashing the avocados, and now I'm getting my limes juiced, so I can add that to there. Like Victoria said, I like putting the limes in right afterwards because it helps the guacamole not turn color. So that's why I like to do mine next. And then I'll put the tomatoes in, and then the red onion.
All right, so now with Dad, he used larger tomatoes. I'm gonna use Mom's gorgeous little baby cherry tomatoes. And I'm just gonna simply cut them in half. Well, you see these ones are like little bitty pearls. They're so sweet.
I know.
So.
Stop with good ingredients.
I know. All right, so with these, depending on the size, if they're the really small ones, I'm just gonna cut them in half. And if they're a larger cherry tomato, I'd cut them in quarters.
Okay. And so what I like to do is use a food processor for my onions. So I use a whole red onion, and I just cut up a little bit, and just pulse it in the food processor to get a nice fine chop. And so I'm going to add that to the already crushed guacamole, avocados.
I was gonna say, your guac's already done? I thought it wasn't a competition race. Okay, I love these little guys. They're so sweet. All right, so once I get these in, then I'm gonna add the next ingredient. Go ahead.
And so for my tomatoes, I chop them up to be about this size, so they're about the size of a diced tomato.
Mm-hmm. Petite diced.
Petite diced.
Yeah.
What I like to be careful of is not to get too much of the liquid in the guacamole dip because you don't want it running. So a good tip is if you use Roma tomatoes, which has less liquid, that really works well in the guacamole dip. You could use beefsteak tomatoes or any other fresh tomato as well, but I find it just helps the consistency.
Or you could use cherry.
Or you could use the Mom's homegrown cherry tomatoes. All right, so let me just get the rest of that onion in there. I'm gonna stir this up. You can already see the colors. How's it going over there, Picasso?
Good. Alright, so I think this is a perfect ratio for the tomato. Looks really good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 1 clove of garlic ready. And I'm going to put that right in here. Kind of enhances the flavor.
I have to say, it's looking pretty good over there.
Not too bad?
No.
Well, you did say you like it, so.
Okay, so for this recipe, the secret weapon is seasoned salt. So you put it really basically to taste. So put a little bit in, stir it up.
I have many secret ingredients for mine. Alright, so I have the 1 clove of garlic in there, and then I'm going to be adding some chili. Usually in the States I would add a jalapeno, but here I have Mom's, again, fresh from the garden, her Thai chilies. So I'm going to just do a rough dice on that. And if you don't want it to be too spicy, you can eliminate the chili or the jalapeno entirely, or you can take the seeds out and it's not as spicy. But we like a little spice in this house.
All right, so I'm just gonna taste it now to see if it needs any more. It does.
Need more salt?
It needs more salt. Well, seasoned salt. All right.
Okay, get that in there.
Now my next ingredient is going to be sour cream if you're from the States. Here we don't have sour cream in Sicily, so we found this light cheese that really resembles sour cream pretty well.
It does, yeah.
So usually...
Not bad. All right, so I'm gonna just meld all this together in here while you're doing that. You don't want it to become a paste, but just enough to break it up so you can have the flavors. All right, so that's about done. We just want the garlic and the chili just broken up, and you can see how it really sweat because there's no liquid in here. I didn't put any oil or anything. So we just want that broken up, so now I'll put it directly into the guacamole. Okay, so I just put in the chili and the garlic. Now I'm gonna mix that in. Usually while I'm mixing that in here, I usually put in some fresh cilantro, but we don't have fresh cilantro. It's not easy to get here on the island. So I actually have some cilantro that I got in the States. This is really good if you can't get fresh cilantro. So we're gonna put some cilantro in there. And again, if you don't like cilantro, just eliminate the cilantro. So now that that's done, we're just gonna add a little bit of the seasoned salt, then we'll try it and see if we need any more salt or lime.
And mine's done.
That's good.
I finished. It's as easy as that. All right.
Let's see how this is. All right, so I just tried it and it needs a little more lime for my tasting. So this will end up being an entire lime. Okay, let's mix that in. Another thing that they have, as opposed to just the cilantro, is they actually have a guacamole blend. I like that too. It also has some chilies in it. So if that's the case, you just would use less chili or less jalapeno in there. So let's see how that is. You share the chips. Let's see.
That's good.
Perfect.
I have to say, I added a little bit more lime in mine too.
Did you? Sneaky. All right. I think that these are done then, right?
All right.
Okay.
All right, so we just finished making our guacamoles.
I think it came out pretty good.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
They look pretty similar. Yours looks a little bit more chunkier.
Yeah, and you can see the color is a little bit lighter in his just because he added the cheese.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Now I think we need to taste it.
I think so. Should we see whose we like better? No, I think they're both really good.
Well.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
You gonna put that down?
Oh, I can.
Let me see.
I'm gonna taste yours.
Mm-hmm. Very good. I like yours.
Oh, I like yours too.
Well, there you go. They're both different, but both really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This, I think, is a little bit more simpler.
Okay.
No, it's good. They're both good.
Okay, so now that we have the final verdict, and we like them both equally.
We do.
So, both good, both refreshing. Both would be good with a margarita, which, you know, I think we're missing.
Margarita, gin and tonic. Also, too, you can use this as a side or a meal by itself with Tostitos or whatever.
This is really good with nachos.
Nachos. You could put it on grilled chicken. It's delicious that way as well.
Well, you know, guacamole. It's good with
Let's
everything.
eat everything.
Yeah.
All right.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna eat this because it just looks so good. So we'll post our different recipes down below for you with the ingredient list as well. And if you have any questions, please feel free to let us know. And also you can vote
Whose is better?
and see which recipe you like better.
All right, let's do that.
But for now, we're gonna say ciao for now.
All right, ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao. these are the ingredients that we have. We have the guacamole, we have the onion, the tomato.
We have the guacamole.
Guacamole already?
Okay,
Yeah, it's
awesome.
really